So I've developed this really bad habit about starting series and then never finishing them. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I am Andrew, and today I've got another video for you. But before we get into that video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, as it does help the channel grow, and you can check the description box down below for information about my Patreon if you want to help support what I do here. Now, today's video is essentially kind of dialing in on the 10 series that I've just kind of started and then stuck back on the shelf, and I just need to get back to them. And some of these are like sequel series, some of these are just very much series in progress. And yeah, without any really more jawing around, let's jump right into it with this big one. And some of you may know this series. It's called The Bound and the Broken by this little known author called Ryan Cahill. And I started book 1 of Blood and Fire long ago, probably about a year and a half ago. And I liked book 1. And then so I was like, you know what, I need to read book 2. And so I tried to read Of Darkness and Light, which is book 2 in this series. I also read one of the novellas. And I realized, oh no, I don't remember anything that happened in this series, so this had to go back on the shelf. Luckily for you guys, I'm planning to host a read-along sometime in, I think, the third quarter of the year for The Bound and the Broken by Ryan Cahill in the Wizardly Duo Discord, which you can check in the description box down below for that link if you want to check it out. So that should be coming up here. I just gotta nail down some details and stuff like that. But I'm excited to completely restart this series because I remember nothing. So yeah, good times. Now this one is a relatively new start, and it was kind of like the expectation of what it was gonna be. Like, I had this idea in my head that it was going to be different than what it was. And that's on me. You know, I put an expectation on this series, and that's my fault. And that's Death Gate Cycle by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. Now, I'm currently on Elven Star, which is volume 2. And Dragonwing, which was the first book, I liked well enough. It just had this weird sort of humor that I should have known the authors were going to do. Like, I thought this was going to be a much more serious series than what it is. And so when I found the humor, it caught me off guard. And so I've just been kind of biding my time until I can return to Deathgate. These are all series that I plan on continuing. It's just I don't know when. So we've got Elven Star here, which is Deathgate Cycle number 2. Now this one is one that I just kind of throw into the TBR or into the reading mix as the mood strikes me because it's one of my favorite authors. And that's David Gemmell. David Gemmell is actually going to appear a couple times here because I'm reading multiple of his series at once, which I should probably stop doing that, but I'm already halfway through the man's breadth of work, so I mean it's been working. And that's Draenei. Now I'm currently on Legend of the Deathwalker. This is, I believe, the 3rd Druss level in publication order, and the 2nd in This is the 2nd in publication and the 3rd. No, I've got this wrong. This is the 3rd in publication, 2nd chronological. There we go. Whew, we got there in the end. And the Druss the Legend, I believe it's called Druss the Legend. Yeah, Druss the Legend was the last one I read. And it just kind of left me a little lukewarm, so I decided to take a bit of a Draenei break. But I'm about ready to come back to this series because Draenei is, of course, one of my favorite series. And so I'm excited to get back to this. And now that I know, I think this is going to kind of take place and chronicle some stuff in Druss's backstory that wasn't quite explored in Legend, which is one of the weaknesses I felt of the Druss the Legend book. Because in Legend, we get pretty much a lot of that backstory kind of just summarized, and it just felt a lot of been there, done that. So I'm excited for the Legend of Deathwalker, because even though it's mentioned, this is a pretty thick book, and I think it only gets a page worth of kind of airtime, I should say, in Legend. So we'll kind of see. And then I can hear the boos coming now. We have got Storm of Swords, A Song of Ice and Fire. And I was really enjoying my A Song of Ice and Fire read. And then all of a sudden, I got to a fight between Tyrion and his dad. And I just shut the book. For some reason, my mood was just No, you don't need that You don't need that in your life right now. And so I need to come back to A Storm of Swords because I've been really enjoying A Song of Ice and Fire. I gotta put that down. It's heavy. I've been really enjoying the series. And yeah, just within the next couple months, I'll probably end up picking that up, finishing it out, so that I can continue on to Feast for Crows, which I've got down here, despite the fact that I, put the other book over here. Basically, I put books wherever they fit on my shelf. I actually categorize by size because I'm a lunatic. And then we've got Anthony Ryan, The Wolf's Call. Now, this is technically the start of a duology, but it's a follow-up duology that focuses on Valen Alsorna. And I've had this on my shelf for forever. I'm currently reading Draconis Memoria, and then I think I will come back and do this duology so that I can kind of wrap that up. So these will probably be my next Anthony Ryan reads. But yeah, no, I'm excited to get more Anthony Ryan. I really enjoy his writing. So we'll just have to see when I can kind of fit that into the reading mix, per se. And then I have been reading this author's works since last year. And I was kind of holding out, hoping that the audiobooks would get re-released before I would pick this up. But I'm starting to really get the itch for some more L.L. McRae. And I know it says L.L. McNeil. She changed the author name. It's L.L. McRae. This is the original edition. But this is Issa, and this is book 3 in the Worlds of Lunaria. It's a bit of a beefy book. And so that's kind of also been keeping me away because I've been wanting a lot of shorter, faster reads just because I can kind of crank through them and remove books from my TBR and feel good about myself because I'm reading so much and I'm so productive. And of course, then I just leave these chunkers on the shelves, which then make me feel bad and sad about myself. So yeah, we've got Issa. And I think I'm going to read this before the audiobook drops just because I'm getting that itch. Because I'm currently reading Shadowgate by L.L. McRae, which is the sequel to The Iron Crown, and I'm having a fantastic time. Up next is one of my new favorite authors, and that's Robert McCammon. And this is Mr. Slaughter. This is the third Matthew Corbett book. And coming off of Queen of Bedlam, I had a high. And then, I was I shouldn't have been doing this. I was looking into the series as a whole, and, a bunch of people were saying that there was this just scene in Mr. Slaughter that was egregious. And I was just like, you know what? Right now, I'm going to take a little bit of a break from this series, and we'll come back to this one. But since taking that break, I've read Boy's Life. By the time I get to this, I'll probably have read Swan Song. Because I've got both of those on audiobook as well, Mr. Slaughter and Swan Song. So, I'm trucking right along through Robert McCammon's works. So we'll just have to see when I can slot this one back in, because I love the first two. Speaks the Nightbird and Queen of Bedlam are masterpieces. All right, we got 3 left. So we have got Regante by David Gemmell. I told you he was going to be shown back up. And of course, this is I've got to get the audiobook because this is my signed David Gemmell book, which blew the socks off of me because when I bought this, it was not advertised as signed. So, yeah, we have got Ravenheart. And the reason I haven't come back to this is the first 2 books. I love Sword in the Storm, and I loved Midnight Falcon. But, from what I understand, there's a huge time jump coming to when Ravenheart takes place, and so that felt like the end of a good arc, so I kind of just put the bookmark in, pressed pause on the series, and I was like, I'll come back to that, which I 100% plan to, but with 2 books left in the series, I don't know why I just haven't pulled the trigger. I absolutely 100% need to, and you should make me feel bad in the comment section down below because I haven't finished Regante. 100% you have my blessing to just rag on me in there. Alright. But be nice about it. And then, of course, this one hurts. I don't know why I haven't come back to this series. I was so excited for this book. And then I think I just got caught up in the TBR. And so we've got Kingdoms of Death. This is Christopher Rocchio, number 4. And then, of course, we've got Ashes of Man that has also come out since then. And I think it's one book split in 2. And I was like, I'm going to marathon these. And I think in the next couple months, I'm just going to, be okay, I'm going to take a chunk of time and I'm just going to marathon these and I'm going to cry in the corner after it's all said and done because I've heard this one just is not nice to you, but I'm also really excited for this, book to just bully me a little bit, because I heard it's mean, but I also heard it's really worth it. Christopher Rocchio is a amazing author. So we just gotta see. And then, of course, this one keeps appearing in lists, and I've kind of started this one, and I got to a scene where they ruined a perfectly good bottle of wine. If you know, you know. It's very early on, and I was just like, you know what? Let's just I'm not in the mood for that right now. So we've got The Age of Madness by Joe Abercrombie, A Little Hatred. I will get this one read eventually. It's just not this day. Whenever the mood strikes me is when I will crack that one open and dive on in. Now, guys, those are the 10 series that I feel the most bad about not having finished. Let me know in the comment section down below kind of your top 10 series that you just absolutely need to finish. I would love to know. That's all I've really got for you here today, guys. So till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.